I manage the community here at in5 Media. in5 is a startup incubator. We incubate businesses in tech, design, media, and recently added finance. In this building you find studios, production studios, recording studios, and recently we have a podcast setup, which is like video podcasting. So keep this brief. If you have any questions about in5, I'll be here. You can chat to me at the end of the session. I don't want to take too much of Stavriana's time, so please, welcome Stavriana here, and I'm sure you learned a lot from her today.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hi everyone. My name is Stavriana. It sounds Italian, it's Greek, and I'm from Cyprus, so it's a whole situation going on there. I'm very happy to be here. So thanks media and in5 basically, not just media, for having me. And if I'm not mistaken, this came out as a suggestion from you guys, from your community. So yeah, I'm the CMO of Digital Tree. Digital Tree is a big group of companies that operate in 3 countries, Greece, Cyprus, and Dubai. And I'm a certified HubSpot partner. So I'm coming here as a HubSpot representative to share my knowledge and try to help you however I can with your CRM and sales efforts using HubSpot. Fun fact to know about me is that I love gimmicky and cringy, borderline cringy gifts, and I love basketball. I don't do any sport and I'm terrible at it, so don't dare me to play. And we're coming from a startup background ourselves as well, because all digital, which is part of the Digital Tree group, it was actually one of the founding members of startup community in Cyprus and in Europe. So we're kind of understand what you're going through as well. It's a casual presentation, it's not a lecture. So feel free to ask any questions, interact with me. If you have anything, if something is not clear from what we discussed and you would like to give a more specific example, I'm here to do this. So let's go for it. So number one thing I would like to always ask and clarify is that how many of you are familiar with HubSpot either by using it or know what HubSpot is and how it works? I want to assume all of you. Okay. So HubSpot started out as a marketing platform first. They introduced, if I may say, this in5 methodology, which basically what represents is that you can set up all your tools and all your communication message and have them work for you automatically. And in5 methodology basically is that it's the best way, the new way to attract new business and new leads. Instead of going and aggressively advertising stuff, you let everything come to you. So that's how HubSpot started, and that's where the fundamentals of HubSpot lies in. So most of you, I'm sure you're familiar with the classic sales funnel, which is you have like at the top, you want to attract a lot of clients, and then as you move along, you narrow it down. So it's the same logic when it comes to the inbound part or the HubSpot sales funnel or the inbound sales funnel, as you may have heard it with different names. You have the top of the funnel that you have strangers, people that they don't know you or you don't know them, so they don't know who they are. And your number one goal always is to attract as many people as possible to the top of the funnel. You don't care who they are, you don't care what they do, but you want to bring a lot of people and cheap. You don't want to spend a lot of money to bring at this stage. As you move further down the funnel, you want to qualify your leads, qualify the people you are keep investing money. So you want a lot of people and you want them fast and you want them cheap. As you move further down, it will take more time to qualify them. It will be slightly more expensive, and they should be directly related to your product or service. There are many ways that you can actually achieve this. what I try to do here is that I try to identify different activities that you can do in each session or section of the funnel, so it can help you understand how you differentiate each lead. For example, if I'm searching, I will use a random example. If I'm searching for shoes, summer shoes, okay, and I Google, I'm looking for summer shoes, I will get a million results. Many of the brands I will know, many of the brands I want. And I go into a marketplace that sells shoes. I browse, I visit, I'm a stranger to them. They don't know who I am, but they know that there's somebody that is interested for shoes. If I go to their website and I read a blog that says, okay, 5 things to style your white shoes, read it now and get like 5% discount on your next purchase. I will give my information to get the guide and get the discount for my next purchase. So automatically I become a lead to them. So I transition immediately from stranger to visitor, and I became a lead because I share my contact info or some info about me with them. So how they can convert me into a customer? Since I retrieved my discount and I never used it, they kind of drop me an email saying, hey, your discount code is still valid, you can utilize it. Or we drop a new line of shoes, feel free to use your discount to make a purchase. And that's how they convert me from a simple lead, they convert me to a customer. And my initial request, my initial research might not even have been white shoes. I was looking for summer shoes. But that's how I ended up interacting with them at every step of the way until I became a customer. So it's very important for you, if I would like to keep like 2 things, more like 4 from this slide, is that it's very important for you trying to define your personas, your buyer personas, who they are, what they do, how they interact, and how they behave. Outline your marketing triggers or marketing actions. Like, what will make me that I was looking for shoes to do something for you, give you my contact info or make a purchase. So that's a trigger. Create a list of keywords and assets that you will create that are matching my needs and my triggers as a potential customer. Implement these triggers into your marketing strategy, into your website, into your content that you're producing, and disseminate it. If you disseminate this and you have your workflows and HubSpot ready, then it will automatically work for you. So the 5 first steps have nothing to do with HubSpot. They have to do with you, your strategy, your product, and your service. The next 3 stuff, you might be doing them manually right now. You might be getting the leads on your website and completing them in a spreadsheet and monitor your sales through an Excel spreadsheet. That's okay. So questions so far with this? It's still theoretical. I'll have more practical examples later on. And this is an example of how your goals should look like. Okay, it's one of the first mistakes that we notice. A lot of startups or young companies fail to clearly define their goals. They usually say, I want to get clients. One thing that I learned, and it's very important for you to implement as well, your goals should always be measurable and achievable. If they're not achievable, there's no point of having them. There's nothing wrong of being ambitious and having like really big goals, but then set short-term goals and make sure they are measurable. So you know what your current results are, you have like your set plan or your plan A or your conservative plan of what you want to do, which is actually achievable. And then you have your optimistic plan. Let's say that ideally I want to increase by X, Y, Z. But make sure you have actual numbers and actual targets so you know what you're going after. Again, this is a free tool by HubSpot that will help you. We call it like keyword cluster or keyword content cluster tool. This will help you identify and develop your strategy. I also include a free resource for you at the end of this presentation where you don't even have to think about it. because you can use AI to write what your products are, what your keywords your target personas are looking for, and it will generate for you a keyword strategy, a content strategy, and you have to review, optimize, disseminate. However, it's important for you to understand the logic of the cluster. So what this shape actually symbolizes, because it looks kind of weird. So you have your pillar, your main thematic unit. So I'm going to use the shoe example again. I'm selling shoes. So if my thematic pillar here would be like summer shoes, because it's my new collection, then I want to create relevant content that it's not exactly the same. I'm not going to say buy your summer shoes here. I'm going to have like the best styles for this for summer 2024, for example, or how to combine white summer shoes with your clothes, or how to, I don't know, but this kind of stuff. So you create content that is similar to your main thematic pillar. It's not aggressive, sales oriented, and these pillars will actually match the Google search terms that are relevant to your product. Plus they help you organic results in search engines as well. So that's how an actual content pillar or cluster will look like in a more realistic environment. Let's say I'm promoting inbound marketing. This would have been my sub-cluster themes, and then I will create content based on each one of them. So far so good. We did that, and then now what? The most important thing is to set this up on your website, because regardless of what you're selling or what you're promoting, you'll have a website here, yes? Even if it's just one pager. It's very important for your website to be optimized and have a blog section, a news section, an advisory section. You can name it however you like, but think about it as a section on your website that gives informative content. At the end of the day, it acts as a sales agent. It still sells for you, but in a more native and organic way. So the number one thing is that, and once you have this, there is this AI blog generator tool on HubSpot that I was telling you about, and you go into this tool, which is free. You can use it, and you write, okay, I want this blog post to talk about, I don't know, what's your subject about? When I leave the shoe example.
If you want to do something like other products.
Sorry?
Any other products?
Yeah,
yes.
What's your product, you'd say, or what's your service?
My product is like a video production. That's all that.
Fantastic, that's very nice. I'm actually familiar with it.
Yeah.
So let's say I want to write about cost-efficient animations, because you have like high-end productions that require a lot of budget, and then you have, although I hate the word packages, you have like small type of animations that are used for social media, let's say. Okay. So my blog, I'm going to the AI tool and I say, okay, I want to write something about animation videos for social media. Okay. Then the AI generates a blog title suggestions for you, so you choose what better matches your style or what you want to talk about. And once you choose the subject, it generates an article for you based on that. Do not publish it immediately because it's AI, but it reduces your work to almost half, even if not more. You just proofread the end result, and then you just publish.
Is it better than ChatGPT?
I would say it's
Mostly it's based on ChatGPT.
yes, but it's more it's SEO optimized, it's faster. So in my experience, I write a lot of my content, some of my content on ChatGPT or Gemini. I like Gemini when it comes about research for researchers. When I do them on HubSpot, is that it's properly structured with head one, head two, and the right keywords to benefit my blog post. So it reduces my time of adding the right keywords and
How big can be this content? I mean, how many words approximately? 500?
you don't need more than 250 words, which is the average. You don't have to talk about, you don't have to keep them lengthy, just short to the point. Just
So
make
it's
it
a- It's a short form content.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even your blogs, they don't have to be like extremely lengthy. It's better to put out more often blog posts or articles rather than spending like 2 weeks to write a really big piece of content. You still need those, but you don't need all your strategy to be about lengthy blog posts.
Mhm.
And you can always build on this because it gives you like actual text and you can enhance it or change it as you like. But it does the bulk work for you, so you don't have to spend a lot of time. So, okay. These are the basics. So, why it's important to have like proper sales planning, not just for startups, but let's say, okay, for startups now. An effective sales plan, although you might have like a clear idea in your mind and you have like an outline of your sales plan or your target people and how you're gonna get them in your mind is still in your mind. Even if you manage to put it in a piece of paper, that doesn't have to be pretty, it's something. So it's important to have like an outline of your sales plan because it will help you better identify your target persona. My worst thing to hear whenever I talk to startups or we do consulting for like big companies is that when you ask them who's your target persona, and they always reply everyone. Everyone. I have my product. I have the best product in the world. It's super innovative. I'm gonna beat all the competition. And I'm like, you have competitors like Microsoft. How do you think this is gonna happen? I know that your product might serve, for example, video production. Yes, everyone could be potentially be your client. However, it's not sustainable to target everyone because you don't have the resources or the budget. So how you can differentiate for your persona? You can say, okay, everyone is going for the big productions and asking for the big budgets, and everyone is leaving behind the small businesses. What if I optimize my product and I produce bulk videos for small, medium companies? So it doesn't take me a lot of time to do it because they don't have a lot of budget, and I target them because no one pays attention to them. Or you can even narrow it down further and say, hey, I'm targeting small to medium businesses, food related only. And I'm doing these packages or I'm doing this type of videos just for them. So you might have started as, I'm doing video production, these are my target people, I want all of the CMOs, I want all of the head of productions of other companies or in other countries to relate with me. However, you can have like 3 types of sales plan. That can be like your overall sales strategy. Say, okay, I have 3 types of doing this. I'm gonna focus on this on food, small, medium food companies. I'm gonna focus on small, medium companies for fashion, and I'm gonna target startup companies that they're looking to create video interviews to promote their startup. I don't know. So, but you identify 3 niche for you markets that you can focus on. That's why it's important to outline your sales strategy. And once you have this outline of what you want to do and who you're targeting, then it's important to break it down into a very attractive composition. Okay, I'm going to use your example and then I'm going to use another of you for the next example. So I'm focusing on, let's say, small business, food and restaurants. Okay, what would be my sales message? Are you tired with working for the freelancers and not getting the quality of content you want? Could be my message. Or my message could be like, you don't have to invest a lot of money for one result. Optimize your content for a month. I don't know, just brainstorm here. Then define your sales process. How are you gonna attract them? How are you going to approach these small companies? Do you find them on Instagram and message them with your unique offering? Do you advertise on Facebook and Instagram? Do you use a PR agency like Lara from Kano, for example, to do media for you and saying, hey, collaborate with this. Do you find affiliates that they refer to you? You need to identify how you want to attract, how you're going to process this sale. Once this is done, you need to find a way how you're going to manage the sales. Are you writing everything down on a spreadsheet? Are you writing everything on a whiteboard and you monitor them like this? Or are you using, for example, HubSpot sales? That you can say, okay, I brought in 10, I identified 10 prospects, I managed those 10 prospects to convert to lead 3 of them because I emailed them and they gave me their contact info, and I'm working to send them a proposal, and from these 3, I managed to send 2 proposals and secure 1 client. So from 10 prospects, I went to 1 client, which is actually a good conversion rate, but you get the idea. In this way, you will be able, if you try everything on HubSpot, you will be able to monitor how long your sales cycle is, how long your sales cycle is, if you need to focus more on prospecting or on lead generation in order to fill up your pipeline, and in due time, after like 6 months or a year, you will be able to know your percentage success rate. If a deal, for example, if you have a prospect and you manage to send an offer, you have like 90% of chances of closing that deal. If I use my example with a digital agency, if I manage to sell, because my sales process is very streamlined and very strict, if I send a financial offer to a deal, I have 85% chances of winning that deal. Whether I don't have if I have only a meeting with the lead, my success rate of closing that deal drops to 35. So if I have only a meeting with them, I have like 30 to 35% chances of closing that deal. So it's a good number, so.
Can you explain how you do this? Because it's sequential, right?
Yes.
You have the consultation, then you have sent proposals. How are you separating it out?
So the good thing is that HubSpot automatically does measure this based on your success rate. How long a deal stays in a specific pipeline, and if they went through all the stages, if it's a one or
So
loss.
it uses your data specific to your business
Yes.
pipeline
Yes.
to forecast.
Yes. You can add percentages based on your experience. When you are setting up your pipeline, you can add percentage based on your own experience. Like, I knew, when I set up my HubSpot 10 years ago, I knew that I had like 90% success rate. However, that changed because my team developed, I sent more offers, I get more leads, I don't close them, so my success rate dropped. But when I set it up, I added to 90%. And then from the data that HubSpot was gathering, it differentiated my expected return on investment.
And what's the kind of volume of data you need for the numbers to firm up?
It's important to use the tool properly. So if you add a lot of deals in it and then you don't properly update them, or you forget to shift the deals, then it messes with your data. So you might have closed a deal, but you forgot to update HubSpot, then HubSpot will measure that it took you like 3 months to close the deal. So it skews up with your data. And then of course, once you complete your sales process and you start have some wins, you need to evaluate, why did I win these deals? Why did I lose these wins? I know at the beginning, it's not gonna make sense, but you need to be able after 3 months or 6 months or even a year definitely to know the offers I lose is because they find other alternatives due to budget, or because I don't have an expertise in that industry. But you need to be able to know why you're winning and why you're losing. HubSpot can automate this for you. You don't have to manually remember why you lost a deal a year ago. Because when you set up your pipeline, you have like your reasoning, you have everything, and then you just generate a report from HubSpot that says you lost most of your deals because of budget. They wanted cheaper alternatives. Yeah, so you know what things to change and to improve when you're running your second cycle of sales. So, in your sales plan, you need to communicate your company goals that need to be measurable, as we said. Have a strategic direction. I'm targeting this niche market for this specific reason. Outline the roles and responsibilities. I know that most of you are like one man, one woman show for everything, or most probably you have like a co-founder that you can work with, but divide the responsibilities. Who is doing what? You can both generate and do business development because it's your own company, but define who is doing what, who is gonna update HubSpot, who is gonna work with which markets and teams, so it's clearly defined who is doing what. And then you monitor your success, know your results, know your wins and losses, and keep discussing them and adjusting them until you gather enough data. Very important. So, to develop a sales plan, again, I included for you a template with specific sections divided and no names in text, so you can download that sales plan template, and it will help you to fill it in for your own business. It's included in the resources. In your sales plan, you need to include targets, who you're targeting, what are the revenue targets, how much money you want to bring in from each target persona, what strategies you will follow for each targeting persona, if you're going to do any specific promotions, messaging, anything that is related, your deadlines, your team structure, who is doing what, and if there's anything you need to be aware for market conditions. For example, if it's Ramadan, I'm not promoting this, I'm promoting this exclusive discount. So very important to adapt on the current market conditions because you might need to adapt your resources or your messaging. Okay? If I talk too fast, it's because I'm getting excited, so let me know and I will slow it down. Okay? So, yeah, basically is what we discussed. I'm just analyzing it in more detail, is that all of you know your value proposition and it should be clearly outlined throughout your sales plan. And you all know your ideal customer profile. I'll tell you from now that most probably when you design your target persona or your ideal customer, it will be very, very vague the first time. And that's why I have the next slide. I have some series of questions you should be following in order to nail it down your target persona in detail, because it's important to remember that your customers, your potential customers behave like you. They have like specific behavior habits, they have hobbies, they have families, they like some social media channels more than they like others. So it's very important to understand and craft them into detail. So again, this is an example of sales plan template to know how to do it. This is from HubSpot. Again, it's free. And I included some other examples. You can use whatever works for you and whatever you prefer. But if you notice, all of them have a clear objective, clear target, and who is doing that and how they're going to do it. You choose whatever you want, you make it as critical as you want, or you keep it as plain as you like, as long as it's to the point. Okay. Now let's move on to the buyer personas, as we were saying. After this, yeah. So how to build your persona? First and foremost, you need to understand their demographics. 18 to 50 years old, it doesn't work. It's too broad, it's too vague. We're talking about different generations with different habits. You need to align your target persona with their demographics. So you're gonna have like 18 to 34, 25 to 30. You wanna make it like 18 to late 20s. Again, a bit broad, but it makes more sense. But you will have like very specific basic information. Their target audience, their target age, if their educational background, their marital status, Do they live in like city centers? Do they live with roommates? Or do they live, I don't know, on their own? How senior are they in their position? Are they decision makers or are they not? I'll give you an example here, which is, I find it very contradictory, but very interesting. I have this client from Greece, and they are selling investment property, which is basically second citizenship. If you invest more than $500,000, $1 million in Greek property, you get like a Greek passport, which is a European passport. Okay. The people that they have $1 million to invest, they're not gonna give it to me because they saw my ad on Facebook, you know. However, we do run very successful, or they're not gonna give it to me because they Google search about it. They said, oh, I wanted to get like a Greek passport, so how to get a Greek passport? I see the ad and I click on it. It doesn't work like that. What we found out is that the people that they usually have this 1 million to invest lightly, they have PAs. And they assign to their PAs these tasks. So most probably their PA will Google search about investment opportunities in Greece and everything. So we started out by targeting to the high net worth individuals. So I'm saying that we quickly realized that it doesn't work and it's a very stupid tactic. So after some errors, we switch our message, tailor-made to the PA. And you're struggling to find the best solution for your boss. I can't remember the exact tagline, but we change our message. Instead of targeting the high net worth individual, we target the PA. We change our ads and our visuals, and we even launched ads on Instagram that we knew the PA on her free time she would find be scrolling in fashion, following specific influencers and reviewing beauty brands, which is fine because she's a human being, she has free time. We adjusted our ads to that, like you wanna tackle this task quite fast and easy, contact us today, we will do the research for you. So I didn't sell her immediately an investment property, but I adjusted my message by solving her problem, which her problem and her pain point was to find the investment properties for her boss. So that's why it's important to understand who you're targeting and how they behave. She wasn't a decision maker, but she was the one who would take the options to the decision maker. So I needed to resonate with her. Another important thing that you need to know about when you're building your personas, apart from their behavior, is what channels they are using, how they behave in each channel. For example, are they using LinkedIn for work and are they using Instagram for leisure? They might not have an active TikTok account, but they might be using TikTok to research for things. All these details that they seem insignificant, they're actually important. And then you need to tailor make your message to that specific audience. Don't get me wrong, we still put out ads and promotional material for the high net worth individual. We had like an article in Financial Times. We created an ad in Emirates for the business magazine First Class. We still did this stuff. So it was complementary. We created two different personas, where our first assumption was that we had one. We created two personas, two different and tailor-made messages. By the end of the day, we were selling the same thing. So this is a template of how your persona profile should look like, for example. Again, I have a tool for you down in the resources that you can actually generate your persona automatically through HubSpot. You answer some questions, and it generates for you this profile. So yes, let's say I'm targeting B2B companies and I have like B2B Bob. He's age 35 to 44 years old, he has a bachelor's degree and he's on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. That's my hypothesis based on my experience so far. How they like to communicate, what is his job responsibilities so I can understand what are his pain points, what are his biggest challenges and how can I solve them for them. And by doing this, you will be able to generate a content that answers their questions as well. So if I will take out the example of the PA again, if your pain point was that she didn't know how to identify the right investment companies and avoid me wasting her boss's time, I needed to produce material for her when to find when she Google search about it. Why am a trustworthy partner, or what you need to know, what you need to know to choose your trusted partner for investment opportunities. For example. Questions so far for the personas? If you do the personas on your own, you can view them as an example at the end if you want to. So how we put all this together? So circling back to the sales funnel we discussed. Fun fact, the sales funnel in the 70s, I would say it used to be like quite flat. People recognized a brand, they wanted to do something, they said, oh, okay, I'm gonna go and get it. So there weren't a lot of steps in between. However, with the evolvement of the internet, the competition increased, where a consumer could make a decision in a week, now they make a decision in less than 3 seconds of where to buy. Plus, they can very easily compare you with 10 more minimum alternatives, and at the same time, they can compare you with pricing, your quality, and talk with 10 different other providers. So that's why the sales funnel increasing more steps. So we did our sales plan, our sales strategy. Okay, we know what we want to do. We know who we want to target. We did our persona profiling, and we know who we are targeting, what their pain points are, and how our message should be for each one of these personas. And then we need to understand how that persona might behave to make a decision. And draw that on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, nobody cares. Just draw it to make sure you have it, it's clear to you. My persona, let's say, how it behaves. Do they get like a free trial from me? And then what do they do? Do they drop and they switch to another free trial provider? How do they behave? Or are they looking for guidance? And if I manage to convert them, get their contact info because they downloaded a guide from me, how do I make them a customer then? How do they actually behave, either on my website or in general? So that's what we need to outline here. And have possibilities, like if they act this way, I'm gonna do this action. If they act this way, I'm gonna do this action. Again, I have a free tool for you to do this for you, as long as we put in the right information. You see, life is so much easier in 2024. And once you do this, you have like specific content ideas that you can generate for each one of these steps. Yeah. I'll send you the presentation. Actually, the DRS came out and send the presentations, right?
I could share it. I could
Yeah.
share it.
So everything is going to be there.
Of course. We're here to make your life easy. So somebody asked me about emails. It was Julia before we started. Okay. I'm showing you an example here of how it should look like if you do something for you. Let's say it's a new customer welcome flow. I need to understand, the first step that I need to take is I need to identify the start event. How do I consider that this is a new client or a new customer? Did they subscribe to my blog? Did I make them at the event? I don't know, but we need to find a trigger point. Okay. Once you identify that trigger point, because we change business cards, I don't know, today. This is my trigger point. Then you need to send them a welcome email, an email that's relevant to them. hey, it was lovely meeting you. Here is a free demo of my account because I like that I met you on in5. Just sharing ideas. Don't just share your portfolio, your pitch deck. Share something that's relevant to them that will help you to move them further down the pipeline, the sales pipeline. And then once you send that, you can drop them a weekly email so you can understand how they interact with your email. Or you can follow up with them, which again can be automatically done through HubSpot. You don't have to manually remember to email that Cypriot girl you met at in5 3 weeks ago. You can automate this, and HubSpot will pick up the sequence and say, okay, it's been 5 days since you talked to that person, drop them a follow-up email. And then you understand, then you send the next action, you see how they interact with that action. If they engage, you move them to another workflow. If they didn't, you need to add another section. And then you end your workflow for the new clients. Your goal is to have this, let's say, your goal is, if you are talking about the new customer workflow, is to have this moving all the time. You don't want leads to be stuck here. You want people to come as a welcome flow and leave from here and go into active subscribers because they're engaging with your blog, or to active clients workflow.
Stavriana,
Yeah.
the third step, you're talking about updating lead scores. How do you do that?
Applying discounts.
Lead scores. The
Lead
third
score.
step.
Yes. How you do the lead scoring on HubSpot? It's a pilot score that you get. You have to do it manually. HubSpot doesn't give you that. Which HubSpot call it actually SQL, Sales Qualified Lead. And it's a scoring system that you need to understand when, and you need to implement for your business. How do you consider a lead qualified? So, for example, trying to think of another example to share.
I can give you an example. Let's say a visa services company, they check if the person, for example, has all the necessary documents to be able to get the visa. I work there.
Fantastic
So they
example.
call and they ask people, do you have residency visa? Is your passport valid? Well, the answer is no to one of those, then they are not qualified. That's the
Excellent
basic
example.
qualification.
And I will make it even more specific. So, we have this business about your visa applications and citizenship, okay? So, and the first step is to fill in a form to check if you are qualified. And I registered to check if I'm qualified. I'm gonna get the welcome email. Thank you for becoming, because I paid, I don't know, 100 dirhams to check if I'm qualified. I became a customer. Once they review my info, they realize that I'm not a qualified lead, because I can never convert to their ideal customer, which is full citizenship and setting up like a business here. So that drops my lead scoring. However, I'm still a lead for them because I bought the first account. I'm never gonna buy anything else. So my lead scoring should be low. Their lead scoring about me should be low because I'm not the ideal customer. Or while on the contrary, you might have completed that, you are eligible, so, but you never made the purchase of the full package they are offering for the visa application, but you are qualified. So you should be having a higher score than me because you can potentially buy the full package.
So we have to set it up kind of manually for our own business.
Yes.
Quick question. I sent you an email, and depending upon your response, or I've sent you a chain of emails, so whether you're opening the mails again and again, can I play with the lead score? Can I pull those signals and triggers?
Yes, you should take them into consideration. I'm going to share an example from my own company now. My manager received a very nice email beginning, hi, we're looking to hire, I don't know, a marketing agency, okay? We're a new company, blah, 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 blah. Immediately I checked the company and I said, okay, this seems promising. I sent our pitch deck and our catalog price and so on. They said, yes, very exciting, let's have a meeting. So automatically it's an SQL for me. They are interested for a meeting and they didn't got clear for my pricing. So we go into a meeting. And when I go into the meeting, they are telling me, yes, but my cousin can do this for me for half of the price, so why am I going to pay? Automatically. No, I
Facing
don't.
the same people. Different stories. My daughter.
Or my friend's son can build the website for me. I don't know, I have but anyway, automatically, although that lead for me had like high score, it was an SQL, I will automatically drop it, but I will finish my code. And I said, okay, fantastic, but that's how my pricing, that's how I work, that's how I operate, blah, blah, blah. I will send my offer, and they never replied. I will follow up at least 3 more times, 2 via email and 1 via call. And if I don't get a response for the 3 times, I will automatically say, I don't care if it's been only a month since we last spoke, this is not a qualified lead for me, and I will move it to lost. Because I don't want to waste my resources investing time on that. Maybe he come back after the disappointment of his cousin. He come back, but maybe he doesn't. I don't know. So, yes. And each delay period and follow-up period is different for each industry and for each business, and it's very important to use your experience to identify that. So for me, for example, I follow up after 3 days. I have sent my initial email. Then I do a follow-up after a week, and I can understand. And most of the time, the people that are interested, they reply within these time frames. If it takes them more than a month to get back to me, most probably I'm not getting that job. It happened that they came back like a month after they assigned the contract, but it's very unlikely to happen. But that's my numbers. You need to identify your numbers. It's okay if you don't know them now, you can use your hunch and your experience, and if you are recording everything on HubSpot, after a while, you will be able to get these numbers from HubSpot.
Just got a question. Yeah, briefly basis. So if you're saying like we can send emails automated, so you don't have to like do it every week and forget to remember. So can we schedule? Let's say I have 3 months timeline that I want to push emails to a certain target audience. So if I build like a communication for like 12 pieces, so can this be scheduled and then be sent automatically?
Yes.
Like preparing in advance all this communication.
For that thought, because I have a very specific example after, and you can analyze it more. So this is another example of, let's say somebody goes just to show you how this sequence workflow actually works. The trigger point here, my start event here, is the subscription to my blog. You don't have to actually buy anything. And again, once they subscribe to my blog, I send them a welcome email automatically. Thank you for this. And then my second email could be like, choose the topic you are interested, or I identify that they subscribe to my blog because they like and they need this type of topic. So I only send them news about this subject. And eventually, up to a point, they will leave this workflow and they go into the new customer welcome workflow because they made a purchase or they requested a demo or something. So, how to automate your sales? You need to set up your sequences. You will find your sequences under automation in HubSpot. Okay? And your sequence can look like this. If a user completes this form, I want them to receive an automated email. Do not confuse this with, it's not going to be the same for all the leads, because if I gave you my contact info today, or if we exchange info with me today, but we exchange with Mary, let's say, in a week's time, it will count 3 days from the day you interacted with me to send the sequence. So that's the fun part. We build the theory, like I meet with somebody, I send them something after 3 days, I send them a follow-up after 15 days, and I give them a unique discount after a month. It's not going to be simultaneously, it's going to be the same, it's not going to be the same for everyone. It's going to be based on the time we have the interaction. So you set up your sequence, which is like, I want to send an automated email to the lead saying X, Y, Z, like welcome and blah, blah, blah. Then I want you to add a task to my team. Hey guys, a new subscriber, we have a new subscriber here. Make sure you check, I don't know how you operate, but make sure you check and we keep adding news about animation videos because they subscribe to our animation. Again, this can be automated. You don't have to do it every time. You don't have to manually forward an email to your partner, to your sales team. Hey guys, new lead to the website, new lead to the website. Or log into the website to find them out. And then you can assign a task to yourself. Make in 15 days. Make sure to follow up, to call this lead because they didn't open any of your emails. Maybe they gave you an email. It can be anything you want, anything. But if you reach this point, most probably you already know what to do because you know your sales strategy, you know what you're targeting, you know what your messages will be, and everything. And then personalize your auto emails so they don't feel like it's a mass fake email. You can personalize this again through HubSpot. You add the specific labels to drag their first name or their surname, depending on how you want to call them, and looks personalized. And you can even add trigger points within the email. If they subscribe in a specific category of your blog, and this is your welcome sequence, you can say, hi Sarah, thanks for subscribing to our blog to learn more about animation videos. Because you might have like a TVC commercial section. And then the rest of it is the same.
Can you add WhatsApp to?
To HubSpot, yes, and I think it's available on your startup version as well. Yes.
This started, I think, in October or November last year.
Yes, October or November, I'm not sure. But it's actually available on startup. Where LinkedIn, it's not available for the startup package. WhatsApp is.
Can I add Telegram? A lot of businesses now are in Telegram.
No, I'm not sure about Telegram. I'm not sure if Telegram is available.
Probably no.
But I will check for you. And then we can recommend. The good thing is that they react quite fast with the tools. Maybe next quarter, Telegram will be available. And this is a workflow. What's the difference between a sequence and a workflow? A sequence is a series of tasks that you set up to do, and a workflow, it's a path, an automated path. You want different sequences and different actions to take place. So let's say you build a workflow that if the lead in contact came to my website or did something in my website that specific day or completed that form in that section of my site, I want them to send them this tag, this email, or I want them to add them to this list or measure this metric, whatever, it could be anything you want. And then you can add branches that if they did this, do that. And it's a series of actions. If they didn't do any of this, do this. If their mail bounced or they didn't open it, remove them from my CRM. It means something is open. And then you can actually enable prospecting on your sales starter for startups. How do you do the prospecting? You get your sequence summary of like how many steps of actions you automated and you have to do, and how many days this will be completed. And then you can set this up just for prospecting. So you can assign a specific person on your team to identify the prospects. So you have your prospects on your HubSpot, and then you have like specific tasks just for your prospecting. Again, all automated. You don't have to do all the work on yourself and manually. The only thing that you need to do is to identify the prospect, let's say, at this stage. Which most probably, because you're startups and you're hustlers, you go into events all the time, you interact with 1 million of people, you get a lot of potential leads, and most of them you end up not most of them end up on your desk, or you don't know what to do with them, or you send a mass email 3 days after the event and nobody replied. These things happen, so you don't want to waste a lot of time on that. You want to optimize it and make it and minimize it as much as possible, so you can actually focus to the leads that actually matter to make a sale, that only you can make that sale. And then, that's my favorite part, you can connect. You don't have to teach your team to use another new tool. You can connect everything with HubSpot. So HubSpot will be only your CRM channel, and you can connect your emails, your calendar, even if it's Google or Microsoft or whatever, you can connect everything. And then you have one source for your reporting, for monitoring your calls, for monitoring your calendars, for monitoring your meetings and your emails and everything. And can connect it with whatever you're using. Most of what you're using, but I haven't found anything in terms of emails that is not connected. Yeah. And the same goes for your prospects as well. And yes, you can, I know it sounds like a lot, and it happens to me. I get that, especially with people that are new to HubSpot. HubSpot, it's an amazing tool. It's fantastic. It will take some time to set it up properly, and it will take some dedication to keep it up to date. But once you've done this, it's an amazing tool that does all the work for you.
How long does it take to, like, let's say for a small team of, let's say, 10, 15 salespeople?
It shouldn't take you more than 3 months.
3
Not
months?
to find it, to gather data.
No, to set it up.
How to set it up is no more than a week. It takes just a week, 1 week to set it up. But based on experience that I've done it like with many large corporations, I would say it would take a month to get used to it and not have any questions and make sure that you update everything. It would take you up to a month to get used to it. But practice makes better. And that's how a healthy sales pipeline should look like. You know?
Can you explain this better?
Of course. So number one thing you need to know is this is the sales pipeline. You should most probably have seen it from your sales HubSpot. You go into your HubSpot, you go into sales, this, and you get this board. This is fully customizable, The example here, it says source, apply it for, okay, it's irrelevant. You can have like prospect, lead, SQL, meeting, offer, signature.
So each line is a part of.
Yeah, you can change it. You can change
section or person.
Yes, as you like and as better fits your sales process. Okay. And then, what's the fun part? HubSpot automatically tells you how many active leads and deals you have in each section. What's the total value of that? And what's the projected revenue? What's the projected won rate? It has it, it's calculated down here.
Based on the previous
Based on previous data. However, if you don't have the data in, you need to set it up based on your experience.
Like 10% approximately of these are
Yes.
gonna move on to the next one, and then.
Yes. You set your percentages based on pipelines, on the columns, not actually on the deals. But it's important to keep them updated. Again, this is for fully adjustable. You can decide what data you want to have and what data you want to gather in each deal. For example, if you go into OpenWorks website, okay, which is the digital agency of the group, and you fill in any form on the website, my sales team will get an email automatically that says, hey, we've got a new lead from the website, make sure you check HubSpot. And then after 1 hour, they will get an automated email assigning them a task saying, you haven't acted on this. If you have ignored this email, make sure you address the inbound lead and update that context. This is done internally. At the same time, Once you complete the form and you log into your website, the deal is created automatically for me in HubSpot, so I don't have to rely on salespeople to remember to add it on HubSpot. It's created automatically and says, I don't know, mail, website, delete form, blog, because I want to know from which form they came. And then at the end of the day, when I do my checkout or when my salespeople do their checkout on the HubSpot, and after they speak with with the lead that came in, they go into the client's card and they update it. Okay, Mary, she came from Mary Consulting. This is her company. Her budget is approximately $5,000, and she's interested for design services. But they fill in the additional information once they review or spoke with the client, and they move it accordingly. But I don't have to check if they log into my website to check the inbound leads. I don't have to remind them to do that. I don't have to rely on them because people forget to add everything on HubSpot and measure everything correctly. And I can easily pick up mistakes in this way. Not that this is the goal, but I can very easily, when I check HubSpot on Friday, which is the end of the week, I can notice that, okay, this deal came from the website on Tuesday and nobody replied to it yet. I can immediately change it because I have a sequence build that it changes its color. You can see that this is gray and this is white. You can do this on your own. I have a task that says, if nobody talked to the deal, to the lead that came in within 24 hours, I want it to mark it as gray. Or if a deal has been inactive for 3 weeks, mark it as gray. So you know it hasn't been active, so you need to do something, and you can easily pick them up. Yeah?
Stavriana, you spoke of notifications, right? Sometimes it gets very crowded, and the pushback from the team is, I can't look through 129 notifications when it was all clear in the morning. How do you customize that? Is there a way of doing
It's a
that?
very good question. I had another client that did the same question to me. So what we did with that client, because they were getting a lot of requests from their website, okay? And therefore the notifications and everything from HubSpot were quite a lot. So what we did, we divided the deals to the salespeople. So we said, okay, people that fill in the form from this one will be assigned to this salesperson. From this form to this person. Or we said, assign the first deals that come to the website every week to this salesperson, the next 10 deals to this person, and the next to this person. And in this way, we reduce the automated workload from the sales. Instead of 10 people receiving hundreds of notifications about 10 new leads, we divide them to. So
You can also build it in a different way.
yes,
When you have a team of pre-qualifiers, those who, let's say they are less knowledgeable about the product, but they know how to talk to people. So they spend time only to qualify leads to understand whether this person can actually purchase your product if they are qualified for purchasing product, but they don't sell the product. And then if they are qualified, then their information is sent to the actual salesperson that will be discussing the details of the deal with the client. Otherwise, if they are not qualified, they are moved to the side. And this way, your actual salespeople, who probably their salary will even be bigger, and they will have bonuses and everything, and they are also more knowledgeable, while pre-qualifiers can be someone who is new to the company, who doesn't know much.
It's nice.
Actually, it's a really good idea, and you can still automate this on HubSpot. But some people have their reception doing the pre-qualified criteria, and they have like a series of questions that they ask. Yes, this is the product. This is our price range. What's your price range? Let's say. Yes, I will connect you with the salesperson, and then they immediately qualify that. So they do a quick
Quick screening.
Yeah.
Yes, how many prospects receive the sales, paid sales agent?
for as many as you like. It depends on how much you can handle.
Daily, approximately.
So you mean like, what's the best practice?
No, how many prospects receive the sales agent?
So the prospect should not receive a sales agent at the beginning.
Yes.
If it's a prospect, it means
Or
that
lead, or
they are looking, it's who you want to target if it's a prospect. If it's a lead, it depends on your strategy. You either have like very junior people do the qualification, like they speak to each one of them and they identify which ones they're qualified, or they be assigned directly to a sales person. But to avoid overlapping, each deal should be assigned to one person. As a primary owner, of course everyone can help each other, but you need to have one primary owner. You can assign two in HubSpot. You can all go to the meeting to close the deal, but you need to have one primary owner so they know who is responsible for that. That's the question. And yes, it's what we discussed thoroughly. And then how we convert all these leads into customers, you see I told you like this. So the best way is to have very targeted and specific strategies from your email template, your blogs, personalized follow-ups. They don't need to know that it's not personalized, they just take it. It's true. Can you imagine you have to speak with like 1,000 people? It's gonna be crazy. But we are all, I mean, think about it with Kai. You all get excited when I get excited when I get an email. Hey, Stavriana, welcome back to Dubai. 25% of your next order. They're like, yes, how do they know? I'm back in Dubai. But again, it's automated. I'm sure nobody manually sat there typed Stavriana correctly and dropped an email, you know? So, yes, and then tailor-made your approach and your message for your audience. Perfect. And a summary. Yes, so if I need to summarize everything that we discussed, I would say clear sales plan, sales strategy, you name it, whatever works for you, what you want to do, measurable goals and achievable, clear defined personas with details on their demographics, personalize your message, develop everything. You don't have to do anything yourself, by the way. You use the tools that are there so you can produce a lot of the material you need quick and fast, so you can test and change as you go. And utilize HubSpot. If you have it, excellent, utilize it. If you don't have HubSpot, you don't have to get it, okay? Follow the principle though, even if it's done on a piece of paper, because the principle, the idea of the CRM will still help you, okay? And why, I would have to say because HubSpot doesn't here. It's good for you to have HubSpot because it has an unlimited library and resources, and a lot of, it's integrated with almost all the platforms, and you can get 90%. For you it's 90% of discount, I think, yes? It's not 75, yeah? 90% discount, but it's 75 for other incubators. And you have like free courses, you have support channels for whatever you need. So you can scan. Yeah, it's relevant, right? I don't know if you have seen Silicon Valley.
Yes.
Series. You can scan me. I have all my contact details there, my WhatsApp, my email, and everything. Save my contact info and drop me an email. So any questions you might have. Or even if you want like a second opinion on your persona you would design, I'm happy to give and share my feedback. Or if you want to share any feedback with me, you like the presentation? Let's give next time, Stavriana. Whatever. But yeah, Maybe questions, anything specific, anything else you would like to?
In terms of content for email or WhatsApp, does HubSpot also help with that?
Yes. Although I like that slide. There is, actually didn't put it here. There is like for startups only, there is email template generator. It's free. You can go in there and you can type why you need an email and what you need it for, and they will HubSpot will generate the email for you. I didn't include it, but I will add it before we send out the presentation. And another thing, it wasn't relevant with the presentation, that's what I included with the register. It's the website grader. You go into this website, okay, and you type you add your website, and it gives you a score for your SEO, for your rankings, for which types of content you need to improve, if your speed on mobile or desktop. So you get a very quick and clear idea what you need to improve and fix on your website. Okay, so it will be helpful as well, I think. And I included the blog ideas generator, the marketing plan generator, the content marketing guide, the guide to build your personas, the sales plan templates, persona templates, and the beginner's guide to SEO, because why not? Yeah.
I have this question. I want an entrepreneur and I want to test my ideas and go faster to market and get leads and check if it's good or not. How to make the sales funnel simple to generate insights more faster? Can you give me an example when I can test a product quickly and under budget? I don't want to do something that take a long time to realize, and the product is not good.
What's your product?
Any service, any product.
I would say the best thing to get feedback quite fast and without wasting a lot of money is give a demo. And say, okay, you have 1 month free trial, and give us your free 1 month trial to try the product. Then before the 1 month trial expires, email them and say, complete this questionnaire, this survey with your feedback, and get 1 more month extension to your free trial. And if you don't manage to convince them within 2 months to pay for your product, then there's something wrong. Either your product is not ideal for them, or your price is not ideal for them. So you don't want them in. That could be an idea. Or that's why I asked you about your product service. Or you can give them get a free consultation if you're doing consulting. And XYZ, and then you drop them an email after you do their consultation, provide feedback, and get 1 more session for free, or 1 more session for half price. Or for example, if I'm in consulting business, you can offer, hey, complete the eligibility criteria form for free, okay, where the value is 100 dirhams, I don't know. And once this is completed, you get their contact info into that, you reply back to them and say, hey, you are eligible, and if you proceed today with the full citizenship, it's 50% off, it's 10% off, whatever. So these are gimmicks that you can do quite fast without having to prepare 100 blogs and do 1 million graphics and designs and publish it. Just using your product in 1 channel.
Okay.
Any other questions? You can have more stickers if you want. That was a question.
Are they the same?
Yes, I will ask my cousin that made them to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trying to go technical.
Do I have a good picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or shall I do it again?
Yeah, it would have been good to have a more detailed session.
You can do a follow-up session if you want. How many of you have HubSpot right now, actually? Just you?
Really? Oh my.
Okay. I would accept because we wrote HubSpot at the title that people who are using HubSpot will come here. It's not a problem, it's a good thing that it came. So I'm trying to see like the ratio of having like a practical session dedicated to this.
That would be nice.
Yeah, once we've actually trialed out the, you know.
There is a free version that you can try and see. It's just almost the same features, just with a limited amount of data that you can add or save. So
Yeah.
you can try it for free, and then if it fits you, then you sign up for the paid one. I'm not promoting HubSpot. No affiliation whatsoever.
So thank you everyone for coming. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
This is what.
If you don't mind, do you mind taking like a group picture all together? It's Wednesday, we are here.
I'll take it.
Okay.